So the first question we've been asking folks is, do you think Americans are divided?
Absolutely.
Yes, I believe that we're divided.
Well, certainly.
Yes, we are, and it's so many different reasons. It's ridiculous.
I think we developed a culture where you can't have opposite opinions and still be friends. The current media, like the way that the news media is reported and things like that, it's intended to divide people.
The news organizations are very biased in the way that they present their information from both sides.
People need a purpose, and our purpose today is just to fight. And so the media has focused on the fight internally.
Division is coming from racism, and it's always been in this country.
I had experienced a couple people being nasty to my kids because they're mixed, and I would like to see less racism.
Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. And as you've noticed, I changed the name from the Jim Journey channel now to just a generic name, Jim's YouTube channel. The other name just didn't seem to grow on me, so I just changed it to that. And so I'm sure it may change again, but for right now, that's what I'm going with as my channel continues to evolve. I changed the photo, I changed the banner on my page, and the username I changed. So I just kind of changed everything, and I was off. If you notice, some of you noticed that my videos were down for a while. I had a bit of a concern from some of the comments and some emails that I received. So for my own security and safety, I deleted or temporarily hid the videos so that I could do some scrubbing to make sure I had some personal information removed. So I think I may have overshared some information, and so now I'm back up. I've hid some videos, I've edited some videos, edited some things out, and so that's where we are now on this channel. So it's still a journey as I go through and evolve and continue to learn this YouTube thing and get more efficient and more aware of privacy. So anyone out there, as I've said, encouraging others to start a channel, something that I didn't think too much about is your privacy. So that's something that you have to take into consideration, what you share and all of that good stuff. So that is something to look up before you start a channel. Look up YouTube security and safety and privacy suggestions to make it a safer experience for you, because nowadays people, all they need is a bit of information. If they know your name, they know a birthday, my goodness, with the internet now, they can look you up and boom, there's all this information. Just Google yourself and you'll be surprised what kind of information is out there. And so, yeah, I had some people know my address. They somehow got my phone number. I started getting all kinds of text messages and emails that were just concerning, that just spooked me a little bit. So I had to back off and kind of go under a little bit, hide those videos. And I was this close to just shutting the whole thing down. But I was like, no, we're not going to do that. We're just going to learn from this, correct it, clean it up a little bit, and continue to drive on from here. So I'm back, and so I do thank those that reached out to me. Hey Jim, I see that your videos were down. What's going on? I'm concerned, worried about you. So I appreciate those that did reach out. So continuing on. So yes, did you see that clip beforehand? And so that was I'll put a link to that. It was a channel called The Builders Channel, I believe it was. And those folks were interviewing people in Savannah, or where was it? San Antonio, Texas they were at, Augusta, Georgia, and San Francisco, California, and they were just interviewing people. And the first question they asked, do you think Americans are divided? And so that's the topic of this video. And what sparked this is that I have experienced this division in my own family and with friends. And I was talking to another friend recently and how he's experienced it when it comes to the political divide with his friends and his concerns now with the direction of their friendship now. And I've experienced it, and I'm sure some of you have experienced it, and it's been going on for years now. And this cultural divide, political divide, identity politics, the far left, far right, moderates, progressives, you name it. You're hearing these words being thrown out there. And now with the new president, new administration, boy, it just continues and continues and continues. And what a sad time and that we're in, where we have so many things that are making us butt heads and cause friction in our friendships and relationships, to where it's impacting all facets of life, from marriages splitting apart due to political divide, to the dating scene where can you have a conservative date a liberal and a conservative, and people are trying to navigate how to deal with that when it comes to pairing up with somebody and trying to find that common ground and understanding. And in families now are split, and co-workers are being split over all this division. And now, like I said, with this new administration, it's broadcast through the airwaves and the internet with this administration and what's going on. And I was on Facebook. As I've said in previous videos, I've been on and off Facebook. Now I'm back off again because I got tired of all the division on there. I didn't delete my Facebook page. I just deactivated it so I could go back in there and log back in, and boom, I have my page back up. But I had to get off there. And then all the advertising and all the things, and you know, you've got that thing with Facebook is people post things, but it's so inundated with all the advertising and videos that they're not even related to you. It just crowds out what your friends and family are doing, and you will see a post that was posted 2 weeks ago. So you're not really following along on what your friends or so-called friends are doing anyhow. And so I got tired of it. I deactivated it. I don't have no other social media besides YouTube. And I know YouTube, with its algorithm, is just as bad as a lot of these other social media platforms, and how it's geared and tailored to influence us and get us to move and click and stay engaged. And they continues to pull us in. So even YouTube, you have to be careful with. Getting off on a tangent there. But yes, and then not only the political divide of years recent and currently, but as we remembered the 2020 and the vaccine, and how people were, and some people were doing some of their own digging and research, or hearing different things about how it was rushed and it wasn't really a vaccine, and there was this myocarditis going on and people getting sick from it. And so there was just all this concern over it. And so there were people in one camp that saying, I'm not getting that vaccine. And family members they knew that were getting injured after getting the vaccine. And then there's the other camp that, they had no problem, rolling up that sleeve and getting that poke, and they had no issues at all. So we were just at each other over that. And then whether to mask or unmask, and then the cloth masks, and then the disinformation, and people wearing masks and not even wearing them correctly, and their nose showing, and still, and just the social distancing, and having to stand in circles at stores, and the people that work there would freak out if you weren't standing in the circle. True story. I was at a Target when that happened. Oh my goodness gracious, the lady had a conniption because I wasn't standing in the red circle, and I just thought, man, this is kind of silly. What's this? Why do the perfect 6 foot apart? I'm like, what difference does that kind of make? But anyway, I digress. But that was going on, and what else? I mean, you just go right on down, and just other things. And I grew up. I remember my dad saying it. There was things that you don't discuss if you want to keep your friends. And I couldn't remember them the other day, and then I finally remembered them. I knew politics was one of them, and the other one is religion, and the other one is money. Those types of things. You don't want to. Those, what do they call them? The hot button topics. So you don't want to talk about those things. And so sometimes I think maybe we need to get back to that. Let's just not. I know I don't know how you guys are, but I'm getting tired of this. I really truly am. And it's just I'm just, I was watching the news and I had to turn it off. It was just making me sick to my stomach. And I just don't even want to talk to people about it. I don't want to talk politics. I don't want to talk religion. Anything that's going to cause some kind of heated debate right now. And I don't really care, how somebody is votes, or their, if they want to get a vaccine or get a vaccine. I don't want that to be a splitting thing to ruin a friendship or a relationship, or if I was working with a coworker. So what? So my coworker is, anti-Trump and he's pro-vaccine, and okay, I'm not going to let that make me think anything less of them. But we're at a point now where people actually think that way. And you're hearing names being called, and they're stupid, or they're crazy. How can they vote like that? Just go right on down. Excuse me. But that's where we are, and I'm sure some of you have experienced it yourself. And what do you do? How do you handle this? Where do we go from here? And so this video here that I found as I was doing some digging about it, and just going back through the YouTube archives and just simple internet search, and it's amazing that this divide conversation has gone back more than 8 years ago. And here we are in 2025, and just as strong and divided and at each other as ever before. And I'm sure it's going to continue for this next administration and beyond. Will it end? When will it end? That's the question. And it probably won't. So then we need to figure out a way to start getting along better with people. And so I think this video, I'll play some more of these clips, and I think they had some some great ideas. And here, I'll play another one here.
Look around this place here. You don't see racism, but they advertise racism.
I think that we tend to segregate ourselves without even thinking about it, but I think there are events and places that bring people together. Like the market we're standing in is a great example of there's no boundaries here.
Most people want to get along.
25 years ago, it was not like this. And now I see there's so much of polarization in the politics. There's so much of divide. People are not able to even listen to the other person.
I just had a conversation this morning with a friend that's saying that he doesn't even get together with his family anymore because they're so divided in political views.
We're divided more by party than anything else. We are essentially locked into what our party thinks instead of looking at the big picture.
Partisan politics forces us to choose like one way of thinking. Yeah. And that does not allow us to explore our truth from other ways of thinking that include our culture, our religion, our family, our experience in life.
So what did you think of that? I think they had a lot of great comments. And the gentleman, how he said 25 years ago it wasn't like that. And he's right. I don't ever remember it being like this. And when dating and all that, it was not like or whether or not you had a certain vaccine, that was never a concern. That was never something that you had that was in the equation. But boy, is it now. And then the lady there in that last part of that clip, how she was saying how people get into their camps and they're either Republican or Democrat or whatever, and that's where they stay. And people will not budge or hear or listen to another viewpoint. And because we're just so locked in with our identity, and this is who I am. This is what I belong to, and people are going to believe what they want to believe. And I think that's why I think sometimes it's just best to not even get in it with people or try to argue with people. You're not going to persuade them, change them. Generally, you're not. So it doesn't even matter to even try. But yeah, what do you think is dividing us? What's causing it? And I can hear a lot of you already out there, and I'll play this clip too, and they say the same thing, is social media, the internet, news networks. Yep, whereas before, back in the day, everybody, for the most part, we only had so many choices of news networks. We didn't have the internet back in the day. And you just watch the evening news in the evening, channels 3, 5, and 8. You only had like 3 main networks, and that's all people watch. So we weren't bombarded by all of these different viewpoints, and camps that people are now in. And so you've got people that just listen to a certain thing and they just stay in that echo chamber. And then what's that called? Confirmation bias, where you will just seek out information that suits your interest and your way of thinking to just confirm your own bias. So you'll seek out those particular networks. And we see it, don't we? And just go right on down the list of all the networks, from Fox News to CNN, MSNBC to, Newsmax and Right Side Broadcasting, RSBN, and PBS. I mean, we've got so many choices now. Take your pick, and that's what that network is going to go with. And I think a lot of this is by design, to keep us at each other And I think the networks, it's good for business for them to stir the pot, to keep all of this division going. So I think it's good for some of these networks to be the way that they are. So let me play this clip and it'll talk a little bit more about it.
What do you think is dividing the country?
I think social media.
Probably more than anything, the internet.
I do think social media is a huge problem. So I don't know. Maybe if we lost the internet.
You just see everything online and you see a lot of extremes. That's a lot of what's going to make news. That's what's going to catch a lot of people's attention. So I don't know. You see a lot more of that split online than I think you actually would in person.
I think a lot of social media just influences people that it is divided, but I don't really think it is.
So did you hear that? Yep. Internet, social media. So a lot of the people out there are thinking the same thing. But I want to play something here that I think is, which I would have to agree with this guy, and that is we have more in common than not in common. We have more things that unite us than divide us. And I'll play that here.
I think that our perception is that we're divided, but I think we're more unified than we are led on to believe.
We're sick of the divisiveness, and whatever it takes as far as love will take us, we're willing to go there.
Did you hear that? And you hear the gentleman say that he thinks that we're more unified than what we're led on to believe. And then those ladies that they're sick of it too. They're sick of the divide too. I know I am. And so I think, what do we do now, to bring us together? And I think a part of that is maybe don't maybe close our mouths more and listen to people, try to get their understanding of why they believe a certain way. Maybe just ask them, why do you believe that? How did you come with that? Where are they getting the information? Try to get some understanding. Don't call anybody names. Don't just write them off as stupid, or don't say that to them. So no name calling, more understanding. And I know my views have changed on things, and as time has gone, and wow, boy, have they changed in different facets, and so I think that's important, is getting to that point to where we just can find that understanding, and maybe find a place to where we agree to disagree, and to keep some relationships intact, and not have to be this negative the way that it is now, to where you have to be so careful what you say around people, and or what their stance is on something, so you're very careful in what you say, because you don't want to trigger them and ruin a relationship. Or they may even point blank ask you about something, and I will be vague and I will not necessarily answer the question, and I just kind of just leave it at that, because I know where it's going to lead, because my viewpoint is completely opposite of them. I don't lean that way. I don't believe that way. I don't see it that way, and I just know I just say, I don't really follow something, or I'm an independent voter. I don't know. So it just kind of diffuses it sometimes, to where I don't go in any detail, but yeah, there was a time where, you didn't talk about those hot button topics as you see now, where it's just part of the vocabulary and the conversation now. You know, it's like you start, you know, everything is going well. You know, you're talking to somebody anywhere out in public, and then, you know, set your clock by it, you know, somewhere along the line, it just circles to the politics, and it's like, oh, it just changes the air in the room. It's like, oh, did we have to go there? Everything was going good. We were talking, we were communicating. Everything was just, you know, we were talking about those things that were uniting us, and, you know, the whatever the case may be, or, you know, and but then doggone it, does it have to get to politics? And then now you see it in everything, when you can't even watch a TV show, sports, you know, different award programs, you know, the actors and all that. Boy, they want to get political. Sports people want to get political. And then what is that called? That happened a couple days ago, the toilet bowl or Super Bowl. I don't watch it. I'm not into all that stuff. I'm not really a big sports guy. I'm just not into it, you know, and all that. I think it's just, you know, all the, what do you call it? All the fanfare and hoopla surrounding all of that. I just don't get it. And it's, you know, it's just a game, and then people get so into it, and then they're buying all the beer and chips and pizzas and chicken wings and eat all this stuff and watch this game and watch those commercials and whatnot. I just can't get into it. And then I was just, you know, watching some of the news and some highlights that were on my YouTube feed, and I saw that even the Super Bowl was political, you know, and there was divide there. And I guess President Trump was the first president to be at a live Super Bowl event, and then all the booing that was going on. Can't even have a game. You'd think that would be something that could unite people, but yet, again, things that were neutral, where people could come, that was left at the door, is no longer, you know, and so, yeah, even that now. And I'll wrap this up. And somebody asked, one of the interviewers asked somebody a question here. What do you think we need to do to bring Americans together? And I think she had some good points there. And I'll play that here when I here at the last part of this video. But yes, what can we do to bring us together? Find those places that we can go as best as we can that doesn't have the politics in it. You know, going to a festival, sharing a meal together with people. And of course, it's no guarantee that it's not going to turn political, but do the best you can, I guess, to try to find those events, get-togethers, walks in the park, you know, that isn't political. And then if it does turn political, just bite your tongue, listen to what they have to say, and just leave it at that. And that's where I'm at. Or I'm just to the point where I don't even want to talk about it anymore, you know. And so anyway, I just wanted to discuss that, talk about that. I know a lot of us are feeling the same thing about it. So I just wanted to put it back on the burner, and you're not alone in this, and I'm with you in the way this society is now, and now with a new administration. And here we go again with all this division and rhetoric and the pointing in the fingers and these people and that people and blah, 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 and the far left medias and the far right and a ho-ho-hum, and which I don't even think, what does far left and far right really mean? You know, and if you ask somebody, well, what's the left mean? What's the right mean? You're going to hear different definitions of that. And I don't think anybody really fits completely in the left or completely in the right, but more of a combination of things. And so maybe we need to do away with those terms, the far left, the far right. And it's just, you know, what do they call that? Tribalism, putting people in different tribes and camps and just adding to this division where, you know, we're not united anymore. And then, of course, you're going to have people say, well, Jim, we were never the United States of America to begin with. You know, you say something and then somebody wants to counteract it when and I want to say, well, we're not the United States of America anymore. And then somebody says, well, we never were the United States of America. Okay. But I thought, though, at one time we did have a common bond, you know, where we did share something, you know, as Americans, and but not anymore. No. I mean, it's so bad you can't even put the U.S. flag up in some places. That's offensive. And then just, you know, what goes on in these companies now. You know, what was it? Chick-fil-A caught some slack. Target caught flack, and all the, you know, the what do you call it? These same-sex or the bathrooms now, where you have male, female, and then the unisex or whatever bathroom. People got all upset about that, and you'll hear people, oh, I ain't shopping at that place, you know, they're going woke, and then you'll hear the expression, well, go woke, go broke, and then people boycotting businesses now because of their agendas now and political spin and leanings and all of this woke stuff now, and just go right on down. What is it? White privilege and this and that, and white rage, you know, and it's like, where is all this coming from? You know? To go back, you know, prior to all this, and we didn't have all this, and but it's where we are. It's where we are. So anyway, that's all. Hang in there, folks. I'm with you. I feel you in this thing, and we've got 4 years, you know, and of this, and you know, I wish this administration all the best. I hope, you know, we wish whoever's in to be successful for all of us, you know, and that's what I hope for this administration, that we can do well and do good and be successful, and whatever that looks like, and find some ways to set aside all this division and be more patient with each other, you know, have some more understanding, find that common ground, agree to disagree, and just continue to just be civil, you know, knowing that we're all from different backgrounds, we have different ways we were brought up, different thought processes, different experiences, and it's just the way it is. And people are people. We are. And it's just the way things are. And we just have to do the best we can with it. So anyway, take care. I'll leave you with this lady here on what she thinks for her when they ask the question, what do you think we need to do to bring Americans together? I'll see you on the next one. Take care.
So if we could do one thing to bring Americans together tomorrow, what would that be?
Well, it has to involve food because everybody is comfortable when there's a good plate in front of them. But I think it's just really opening up, listening to each other, having real honest conversations to get understanding from each side.